In this lesson, we're going to start exploring the fun, fantastic world of sound. Now, this is going to start adding a ton to this gameplay experience, and I am just so stoked to get to this point. We've gone through a lot so far, so we're going to start off by demonstrating in this module all the different ways that I've applied sound to this game. And we're going to start out by creating all the interactive music to be playing in this game in the background based off of the state of our game. So let's go ahead and get started. As we're starting a whole new chapter here, we have our animation files, game art, scenes, and scripts folders. Let's go ahead and create a new folder at this point, and let's use this for audio files. Alright, let's open this up, and I'm just going to go ahead into my Finder, and I'm going to go and drag all these audio clips that are in your lesson resources that we need for this game. So I need to, let's see. Let's just import all of these. We'll use what we use for this tutorial series. So I'm just going to drag them all in. So now we have those importing. They're on their way. Okay, cool. And all of these objects, they default in as a 3D sound. I do not want that. I want them to be a 2D sound. A 3D sound means that it has panning applied to it. So you'll hear it in your left headphone or your right headphone or your left speaker or whatever you're using. It'll just kind of sound like it's panned in different areas. I want all of these just to be mono, just like in the center. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to say uncheck 3D, and our compression settings is 156. Basically all these MP3 originals are 256 converted to, but it doesn't really matter for this. We're just shrink them down. So let's set them all up, let it compress a little bit, save some memory, save some space. It's all good. Make them all 2D. We're not doing any crazy panning in this here. Apply, let's work our way through. 3D sound, apply, excuse me. 3D sound, no, apply, and we'll do the same here. Apply, and what's this last one? Win game, sure. 3D sound, and apply, uncheck. Alright, so all our sounds are all imported in the correct way that we wish for the rest of this series. So now let's go ahead and create a game object to hold onto our music. Where this can be like a little invisible music player. So let's create an empty game object, and let me reset this position, and let me just hit F, frame up on there, and okay. I'm not sure where it is, but let me just add a little dealy here. Let's go yellow. I already have a yellow. Let's go blue, bright blue. Alright, so let's position this up. It really makes no difference where it is. I'm just going to say okay. And cool, so we have this now, and this new game object is going to hold our safe music. So let's just go music safe as a title, so I know what it is. And let's also create one more. Let's just duplicate this. I'm going to call this music danger. That's going to hold our danger music, and I don't need any icon for that because I know they're going to be in the same spot. And let's just parent it to our music safe. This will be like our main music hierarchy player here. Now, one thing we need to do to these is every object in your game that you actually want to play back sound, it has to have an actual component on it called a audio source. Now, an audio source is just letting Unity know that this object can play back audio into our game. It'll act as a source of audio. So let's add one of those to each of these here. Let's go audio source. And same thing here. You can also just go, yeah, audio source. Perfect. So now both of these game objects are set up to play back audio. And now the next thing we need to do is just expand this. Let's go to our music safe. Let's take a look at this. All right, so right now there's nothing in here. There's no audio clips attached to this audio source. So let's do this. What is this one? This is loop main danger loop safe. So let's go here and let's drag this safe audio clip there. This is a 2D sound, perfect. All right, so what do I want to do? Play on awake, I actually want that on this. And I also want this to loop, because as soon as we start the game, I want the music to play, and I want it to loop. And volume can be, it's totally fine, all the way at 1. Pitch, I want to keep it at the default. So let's go to danger, and let's do the exact same thing. Play on awake and loop, and I'm going to set our danger music to it. Now, I worked really hard on this music, so I want you all to love it. So let's go volume, and I'm going to turn it all the way down to 0. on our danger. I want them both to start playing at the same time, but only be able to hear one at a time, and I'm going to create a crossfade in between them based on our game state, because if they both start at the same time, both of these loops are in perfect sync. The danger just has a couple more scary elements into it, so it just kind of changes the tone or the feel of the game. Alright, so those two are all set up and ready to go on their game objects. Now the next step to setting up audio in our game is these game objects, they have an audio source component to it, but we need to have something in our game that will receive sounds so we can actually hear them. Because just like anything, we need a source and we need something to receive audio in our world, which would be our ears. So we need to say which object has ears in this game. So typically every main camera has an audio listener. I've actually gone ahead and deleted that already because I want to apply my audio listener to WrapTuck character. Alright, so I'm going to say WrapTuck will be the closest to all these sound sources. My camera's way back here, so it might be a little quiet. I want him, he's going to be in the same vicinity of all these elements. So let's just make him pick up all the sound. So let's go like this. Let's go add component, and I'll just show you working your way through here. Go in the audio tab, audio listener. Done. There you go. So now Mr. WrapTuck is going to be listening to, he's going to enable our game to pick up sound now. All right, so as long as there's this component in our level, we're golden. So now we need to get into a little bit more scripting. So let's create a new script here, C#, and we're going to call this music controller. All right, open this thing up here, and let's do our regular structuring here. All right, now this script is going to kind of control the playback of our music. It's going to detect what game state we're in, and it's going to crossfade the music volumes depending on what game state we're in. So first off, we need to gain access to our audio source for our danger mode music, which is parented to this game object, which has our main music, which is the safe mode music. And then we need to use this variable to control the volume of each of these music tracks. So before I get any further, let's go to music safe, and let's apply this script to it. So I want my music controller here. Awesome. All right, so we're back in it, back in action. So let's go like this. Let's create a variable, public audio source, and let's go danger mode music. All right, so this variable here, gain access to our danger mode music parented to this object. So we can control the volume. Alrighty, so we have this. Now let's quickly assign this in an awake function here, telling it exactly what we want to gain access to. Okay. Now, what have we done here? We've found this music danger game object. And first off, there we go. We've searched and found the music danger game object. And now, if you just put .audio, it's going to find any audio component that's attached to it. And we only have one audio component, which is the audio source, on that object. So now we've just gained access to it. And now we just need to create one more variable, and that's going to be the time of fading that we want in between the volumes of these tracks. The fade time. So let's go public. Let's go float. Music fade, nice and standard. Music fade speed equals 1.0 f as it's a float. So this will be time of transition between volumes. All right, of tracks. Okay, so there's our variables so far. That's pretty much all we need. So let's move on. Let's create a function now to call in our update to check our game's conditions to see which audio source to play and when we need to transition between danger and safe. So let's create a new function for our music transition. Let's go down here and let's start typing away. Let's go void music transition and create our good old variable here. Let's do our brackets up. And what are we going to do? Well, first off, I lied. We have one more variable we need. We need our game state. So we've done this a million times, private, and let's go down to our wake, and let's go like this. Let's go. All right, done deal. We have it, music transition. Let's go back on here. So what do we need to do? We need to detect if game state dot danger mode is true. what we gonna do? Well, first we're gonna add some brackets here. And let's go like so. All right, so if GameState.DangerMode is true, we need to fade down. Let's just go like this. Fade our safe main music down. And then we need to fade our danger music up. All right, so remember when we called our danger music, we used danger mode music and, we used .audio, which is finding this object and finding the audio component on it. Well, this script is applied to our main music component already, so we just need to say audio because it's already past all this. It knows what game object to find, the one that this script is attached to. So let's just do this. Let's go audio. We want to access our volume, okay? And now what do we need to do? We need to use that good old mathf.lerp as we've used before for smooth transitions, right? Mathf.lerp. So from what do we want to transition smoothly between? We want to transition smoothly between our volume of this audio track, which is currently at 1, and we want to set that to 0 to fade it out completely over the time of our music fade speed variable. So what are we getting? We're getting our current audio.volume. Alrighty. And we want to set it to 0.0 f over what time? Our music fade speed variable that we've created, which is up here, 1 second. And to make it real time, we need to multiply that by time dot delta time. Okay, and close that off. And there we go. So if our GameState.DangerMode, we want to take our current volume, smoothly fade it down from 1, which it currently is at, to 0 over 1 second. That's it. Okay, so now let's do this exact same thing, but fade up our danger music. Okay, so here we go. What we want to do is pretty much copy. We can copy this. We just need to add one thing. Let's go danger mode music, which is our variable getting access to that audio source here. So let's go danger mode music dot audio dot volume, same deal, audio dot volume currently, which is 0, and we want to transition it up to 1 over our music fade speed. So that's it. So now before we actually test this out, let's add an else statement here. Let's go like this because I want it to revert back after. So let's go else. I want to fade up our, if we're not in danger mode, our safe music. And I want to fade down danger music. All right, so this is pretty much, if this GameState.DangerMode is not true, else, if it's any other thing, which it can only be one other thing, which is false, if this is false, then we want to fade up our safe music as it's not dangerous anymore, and we want to fade down our danger music. So we can always continuously transition back and forth depending on what our game is doing. So let's just copy this. Let's fade up our safe music this time. Let's go audio.volume, which would be 0 at this point, and let's fade it back up to, not 12, to 1, okay? And let's copy this one, which is our danger mode music. And let's fade this back down here to audio.volume, which it would be at 1 right now. And let's fade it back down to 0. Alrighty, so here we go. I'm just going to do this. Else transition back to normal music levels. Alright, just a quick little hint there. Let's go back up to update and let's call this function here. Music controller, no, music transition. There we go. We need to call that function, of course. We spent all that time writing it. So let's go like here and say custom functions. And now we just have a clean function that we call in our update function to always be checking what our game state is at. All right, so we should be solid now. Let's do this again. So now let's go ahead and test this out. And all right, I'm hearing both tracks at once. So we definitely have something weird going on here. So let's take a look-see. Music, let's go back to our music controller. And let's take a look-see. Audio.volume danger. Yeah, audio.volume 0. Yes. Danger mode music.audio.volume math of audio. I see. We have to be consistent here. Danger mode music dot audio dot volume. Okay, so I forgot I have to add these to it. So let's go back down here. Audio dot volume. This is our danger mode, so we need to go danger mode music dot audio. Alrighty, we should be good now. Just a little mistyping there, and as you can see, because if we just said audio.volume, it would go to the audio.volume of this one, which is our main music, and just kind of muck up. We're not actually controlling our danger mode volume at this point, so there's nothing to transition properly there. So now I'm pretty confident in what we have just done. Let's hit play. Awesome. I'm happy so far. So far. Okay, so let's go to our game state, and let's go to danger mode. It should fade over to our danger music. Awesome. Alright, we just got that going on there. Okay, now let's fade back. Awesome. So there we have it. Oh. We have our danger mode. Great. So we can hear clearly that our music is working beautifully. So there we go. We have our first stage of audio all complete. We have our interactive music playing back based on our game state. What's next is just layering in some nice sound effects. So we're going to move on to the next lesson, where we're going to see how we can incorporate footsteps, and this is going to be a different method of audio in your game, but you're going to get some great use out of it. So let's carry on to the next lesson.